Hey everyone, it's Adam, and you can now officially call me Mr. Julian. What that means is my paperwork finally went through. I am, as of this last Thursday, officially, my gender marker's been changed to male. I got a new social security number, and my name has officially been changed. I'm still waiting for my new ID, so no picture of that. But the change has been made official, so I am, as you can see, very, very glad, very happy, and mostly just very, very relieved about that, because that was a precursor to starting some of the processes, namely having my information also adjusted in the HR sense at work, so that is now currently in progress. So yeah, it's been a while since my last video, and it's also been quite eventful in this time, so quite a few things have happened. Tomorrow will be 1 month since I started tea. Still no very obvious changes, though the wife does say that I'm starting to grow a bit of a mo. It's still abysmal, don't worry. Other than that, the only noticeable change really is that I have started to my skin got worse. And that is actually, it's surprising to me, because my first puberty went pretty much without a hiccup in that sense. My skin was pretty okay throughout, so I was hoping that this would maybe be kind of in that sense, but I guess it's not going to go as smoothly, or maybe this is just like a temporary thing. But either way, clearly something's happening. So far, like I said, not many other things have been changing noticeably, but then again, it's still early in the process. In other news, since starting testosterone, I have noticed some changes psychologically, and a lot of people talk about, you know, how starting tea can cause mood swings or cause you to be more aggressive, and considering that I have always been a fairly contained person in that sense, I was never very overtly aggressive or you know, not conflict prone. I was quite surprised how quickly that changed. How much easier it is now to elicit a response in the form of you know, disagreeing quite vocally. I'm trying to keep a lid on this. I'm trying to control it. Obviously, this is also, it's new and surprising to me when you know, it happens, and then I try to tone it down, and then I notice sometimes that I'm like speaking through my teeth. You know, I'm just like, and that doesn't come across any less aggressive than, you know, just a little quieter than if I had actually opened my mouth and screamed. I generally don't have as much patience with things that irritate me. I don't really know if that is like a character thing or if it's because of how I was socialized, but previously I was very prone to just bottling everything up and to just like keeping things inside and just kind of running in circles in my head. Whereas now I am finding it harder to do so. It just kind of escapes me, if you can make sense of that. Like I said, I'm trying to keep this under control. I definitely do not want to, you know, go all out of control. I'm like, in everybody's face. It's still not who I am as a person. So this is something that I need to get a grip on. I've also received comments that the way I communicate now is more assertive, that I am quicker or more likely to express an opinion when that opinion differs to that of whoever I'm having a conversation with, be that my boss or my friends or just generally, you know, people. And yeah, that is new to me. I mean, I really am or was the type of person to just kind of, you know, keep it to myself, and now I guess I'm just a little more vocal about things, and people are starting to take notice. I mean, obviously, at some point I expect this to possibly, you know, lead to sticky situations maybe because I am sure it works for some people that, you know, the way I used to interact, so this will maybe be difficult to adjust to, but it will have to be done because I don't really think it's necessarily a bad thing. So my first T-shot was given to me by a friend who's also a registered nurse, so by a professional. My second T-shot was given to me by another friend who's a doctor, so still a professional. And both times my partner observed, and it was explained to her how this is done, in the hopes that eventually, you know, we could take care of this ourselves. And as it turns out, due to circumstance this past Friday, my third T-shot was actually administered by my partner. It went well. I was nervous. I will be the first to admit that I was crazy scared. My partner was obviously beside herself, like with fear, not necessarily excitement. But it went fine. She did really well. I felt it a little more than I did the past two shots. It was a little more uncomfortable. I wouldn't necessarily say painful, but it's done, and there's no bruising, there's no nothing, so clearly it was done right. And that's good because the next shot that I'm supposed to get in 2 weeks, we won't be here, we'll be on vacation in Egypt. So we were going to have to do this ourselves anyway, eventually, so I'm just glad that we get to do the practice run here and not somewhere, you know, in a foreign country where, like, if something was to go like sideways, I don't even know who to ask or like how to ask for or explain my situation. So that makes me feel a little calmer about this trip. I also got a haircut in the meantime, as you can see. Much overdue, I know. Besides the vanity, why this to me is important right now is that anything to help me look more masculine, or at least in my own opinion, to, you know, when I look at myself to feel more masculine, I think this helps. This really helps. I mean, I never felt like I had very intense, this crippling dysphoria. I guess I'm lucky like that. You know, it's more of a discomfort than like this debilitating, you know, feeling of not being, you know, who you're supposed to be. But this does help with that. I do feel more like myself when I look at myself, and, you know, these more masculine traits are coming out. Because also for my new ID, I had to have, you know, my picture taken, and, you know, seeing the results, I never like myself in pictures, okay? I never do, unless it's like one of those candid shots when you're not really ready, and then it kind of looks natural, but other than that, like, I just don't take good pictures. And so that wasn't even a criteria when, you know, they handed me the picture. I looked at it, and all I wanted to know was, like, do I look like a man? You know, is this the picture that will fit with my new ID? And in that sense, I was happy. I was at peace. The picture does look, in my eyes, like what I needed it to look, and that is like a man, like the man that I am. So even though I, again, don't necessarily like the picture, it portrays what I needed or wanted it to portray. So that's also positive. And I get to test the passport next week already when I'm flying. So this will be my first time. Last week I was in a business trip in Germany, and I still had to fly under my old ID, under my old name, and that made me quite uncomfortable, seeing, you know, the misses on the tickets. But yeah, this will be my first time flying officially as a man, and I am really excited about that. I can't wait. So yeah, that was it in a nutshell. I'm sorry this video is quite long, but really it's been a while and things have been happening. I'm actually taking the camera with me to Egypt, so I can't promise there'll be another video from Egypt, but maybe if I get around to it, and if there's something to say, maybe I'll say hi from Egypt for a change. So I hope you're all doing fine. Stick around. Bye.